Hey everybody, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you again. This is my second time streaming today. I am doing this a little bit spontaneously. I knew that I was coming up on 10,000 users, so that's creeping up on us here. The YouTube live count shows me at 9931. So I thought I'd have a spontaneous stream and maybe we can all watch the numbers roll over together. Plus, it's always fun to stream at different hours. I know that this time is going to be a little bit more convenient for some people in other parts of the world, particularly in Asia. It's also might be a little bit more convenient for some of you on the East Coast of the United States. I know that I usually get a lot of East Coast watchers during this time. And we'll just see what happens. You know, we're going to be spontaneous. We're going to keep things loose. Sometimes these things go great and sometimes they go less than great, and that's okay, right? So I'm seeing the numbers right now. It's at 9931. Yep, there's the number there. 9931. So I'm averaging about 40 people an hour is what it comes out to. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now I have all my chats up. Actually, let me go ahead and bring up the other chat. I didn't enable my Instagram chat yet. There it is. So yeah, you know, if you're on Instagram, you know, please go ahead and type your chat in again. I wasn't able to get it previously because I didn't, you know, do my final preparations here. I'm doing this totally spontaneously, guys. So I have, you know, no agenda. I would prefer to not have data science questions just because, you know, let's keep it loose. Let's keep it different. You know, guys, it's healthy to have interests beyond data science, right? It's healthy to have other interests for you as a person, right? You can't be that math robot. You can't be that code robot, right? You gotta have other interests. So maybe it's healthy for us to, you know, spend a little time together without necessarily worrying about data science or code or education or whatever. So really just grateful to be able to spend the time with all of you. But also, you know, let's take it easy. Let's spend some time. Let's do some fellowship. You know, you'll notice that I have my lights set up a little bit differently, right? This is my after hours look, right? This is my after hours look. So it's a little bit less formal than my other ones. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my window here a little bit because I'm watching it on Instagram and I want the Instagram people to also be able to see it. Yassine, how are you? Good to see you. Yassine, I don't know when you sleep. You're always online. So yeah, you know, we're slowly creeping up on it. We're at my numbers show 9937. So it's just amazing, guys. Just amazing. I really can't thank all of you enough. You know, when I first started this, I started this on May 1st, right? And I know that date for a fact because I was under a social media policies for a previous company. So I wasn't posting at all on social media. And I thought, you know, if I could get like 500 followers in my first year, that's probably going to be good enough, right? And I just never thought that it would be, you know, like this. It's just craziness. Just craziness. I mean, 22,000 on Instagram and now 10,000 on YouTube. Blows my mind, guys. Blows my mind. But, you know, like I said, we're here to have fun. We're here to, you know, just kind of have some fellowship. So if you guys, you know, have questions or you have other things you want to talk about or things that are on your mind or whatever, you know, I'm here and I'm going to be here as long as it takes to get to 10,000. For all I know, we're going to be here for the next 5 hours. I have no idea. But, you know, just trying to spend some extra time with you guys and see where we land, right? See how long it takes to get to 10K. So far, I've been streaming for about 15 minutes. So maybe it's going to take another 15 minutes. Maybe it's going to take another 5 hours. Who knows? Who knows? So in the chat, I'm seeing Daniel. Daniel, so good to see you again. How you been? You've been gone the last couple weeks. Good to see you again. Actually, let me bring that up. So yeah, so Daniel says, congrats on 10K, well deserved. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. You know, it's through good supporters like you that keep on coming back. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Or is it Paflo? Pavlo says, hello everyone. Hey Pavlo, nice to see you. Hope that you're doing well. Glad to see that you're checking in on Twitch. Would love to keep on growing my followers on Twitch. You know, Twitch is an interesting platform because they're so oriented towards the nighttime, right? The night is really where Twitch is at, right? You really can't do anything during the day on there because I stream in the mornings, you know, for US mornings. And I get just a bit of engagement. By far, the most engagement comes at night when I do my replays. You know, people watch the replays, and you know, and they sign up. So yeah. RP Altamar, is this your first time? I don't think I've seen you here before. If it is, welcome. Hey, Professor Dennis, congratulations on the 10K. I'm not quite there yet, but you know, maybe in another hour. You know, I think it's gonna take maybe another hour or so, is my guess. Who knows? But yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's through good supporters like you. You know, and it's funny because we had that discussion on chat the other day. Like, am I a professor? I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. You know, but as I shared with you guys before, I come from a family of teachers. You know, my parents are both teachers. My mother was a teacher in the inner city. She taught math to junior high, which junior high students in the inner city do not want to learn math, guys. Let me tell you. So my mother always took on the hard assignments. So, you know, and she did that for a very long time. She was at the LA Unified School District. You know, she taught in LA, she taught in Compton. She took on some pretty tough assignments. But you know, she was a teacher for a long time, and then my dad was also an administrator at a school for a very, very long time. Like, I think he retired after like 31 years, 32 years. So I come from a family of teachers. I don't know if I'm a teacher, but you know, I appreciate you saying that, Altomar. You know, there's worse things you could be calling me, right? Pavlo says, no one is streaming today, only you. Sorry for my English. No, your English sounds fine, my friend. You know, the funny thing about Twitch, too, is that I was streaming in the wrong section for the longest time. I was streaming in the data section when I should have streamed in the software and game development section, which I guess is where more people do data science. I don't know. But yeah, being in the right section on Twitch is super, super important. And ever since I made that move, I've seen an improvement. So either way, Pavlo, I appreciate you watching. You know, please click on the subscribe button. I'm so close to 50 subscribers on Twitch. And for those of you who don't know, 50 subscribers is one of their minimums to get into their partner program. I still need to meet a bunch of other minimums. But yeah, you know, I'd like to do that on Twitch. So thank you for your support on Twitch and also on Kick. I do nothing on Kick. I don't even have a moderator on Kick, and I have like 30 followers on Kick. It's crazy. Congrats, Professor. Recently started following you. Are you actually a professor at some university? And if yes, at what? I am a professor at the University of Life, my friend. That's it. I am not a professor. I wish sometimes I wish I was. And you know what? I have thought of maybe like being like a substitute teacher at my local school district. I have considered that. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that. But no, I'm here teaching you guys real life stuff. You know, that's where a lot of my education comes. I mean, of course, I did formal graduate studies for data science, right? Like, you know, a couple classes. But I am here teaching you guys the real world. And you know, and like I tell you guys, right? I keep on emphasizing this to you guys, okay? And again, I want to keep the data science talk to a minimum, right? But you know, if I could teach you guys anything, it's that data science is an applied science. Get out there and do it. Just do it, right? If we were talking about astrophysics, I tell you, okay, school is it, that's it, you're done, right? Because I can't tell you to go out into space and try some of the astrophysics theories, right? I can't do that. But that's not data science. Data science is an applied science. So I appreciate the compliment. Is it Bavier? I appreciate the compliment, but no, I'm not a professor. I just have a lot of experience. You know, I just speak from my life experience actually being a data scientist. And I think that's why you guys like my content, because none of these other data science experts out there really have that, right? A lot of fake people out there, unfortunately. Really gets me angry when I think about it, because they're ripping off good people like you guys. Daniel says, people in my data science class asked for book recommendations and I suggested ISL, and you're, oh, thank you so much, Daniel. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Daniel's referring to my book, Your First Year in Data Science. You know, I have it out there on Amazon. And guys, I don't sell any courses or any other nonsense. I don't ask you guys for money or anything. You know, if you want to support me, I ask you to please, you know, buy my book. And I say that because, you know, it supports me, but also because it's part of my legacy, you know? And I mean, I'm including stuff in there that I've experienced that I'm sharing with you guys. So when I'm dead and gone, you know, that book is a reflection of what I've done. And also with the ISL classes, you know, I got a little emotional this past Sunday when we finished the classes, because that whole series of videos, you know, it came out to be 20 hours. You know, that 20 hours is also part of my legacy when I'm dead and gone. So yeah, but yeah, it's just, you know, I appreciate the support there, Daniel. Oh, Altamar says, I just don't engage too much, but I'm always tuned in. Thank you so much for your help and best wishes. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You know, and I know everybody participates, you know, at their own pace, and that's a good thing. But you know what, guys? Talking things out is an important part of being not just data science, but of being a scientist in general, right? Super important to be able to express yourself and then understand other people's perspectives. Super important. Super important. Yeah, Pavlin, appreciate all the emotes and the support over there on Twitch. Thank you so much. John Murphy says late. John, good to see you. John, I think, if I remember right, you like the night stream, or when I do the night streams, right? I think it's like more convenient for your schedule, because I know this isn't your first time here. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, John. Really appreciate it. Rahul, my good friend Rahul, where you been, my friend? How are you? Wow, Dennis, this 10K milestone came fairly quickly. Congratulations. This is proof that your content is helping a lot of people like myself. Thank you. Yeah, it really has come quickly. Just trying to do my best, guys. You know, I'm really passionate about data science, you know, and like I tell you guys, you know, it's a profession that I equate to like being a doctor or being a lawyer, and older lawyers help younger lawyers, older doctors help younger doctors, right? So this is me, right? This is me doing my part. I'm an old guy. I'm in the second part of my career, right? So I'm reaching my hand back, guys. I'm reaching my hand back and you know, trying to build the next generation, hopefully, right? So thank you, Rahul. Appreciate the great support from people like you. Yassine says, I can't sleep. I'm one cheat sheet away from cracking the interview. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, Yassine, I think it's pretty late in Morocco now, right? I mean, it's gotta be, geez. It's gotta be what, like after 1 a.m. in Morocco? No, maybe after 2 a.m. in Morocco right now? So thanks for joining us, Yassine. Good to see you, my friend. Joseph says, can't wait for you to hit 10K. You know, Joseph, I hope it won't be too long. I hope we don't have to keep up Yassine up too late tonight. Even just in the time I've started, we've gotten like 20 new subscribers. So who knows? Maybe it might come quickly. I don't know. And I got to tell you guys, you know, I'm an old man. I go to bed fairly early, so I'm going to stay up a little late for this. You know, this is later than what I usually do, guys. But yeah, let's see. So Gamudisa says, cool, what's the channel link? Give me just a second, Gamudisa. I think I can post it in the... You're asking a good question. Let me see if I can't post that in the Instagram. Okay, Gamodisa, I just pinned it in the Instagram chat. So let me know if you can't see it. But it's in the Instagram chat. Yeah, if you want to join us over on YouTube, you're certainly welcome to do that. It's maybe a little bit easier to see, but I have tried to move it so that people on Instagram can also see it. All right. But yeah, it's crazy, guys. This growth has been crazy. Rahul says, I'm sorry I failed to attend your live sessions in the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to transition from data analyst to data scientist. As a result, I've been busy applying for vacancies, etc. All right, well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, Rahul. I appreciate that you know you're trying to improve yourself. So you know, good luck with that. Let us know how we can support you in that. Rahul says, but I'm still following the ISLR book quite closely. It's really helpful, especially exercises that are just too good. Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, guys, if you know, maybe you're not clear on what we're talking about. We're basically talking about this book right here, right? Really important book. I've been teaching it for the last few Sundays. We're done now. I taught 8 different Sundays on this. I'm really impressed by the people that were there to the very end. But yeah, that's the book you guys want to focus on. All right. John says, what are some of the things you like to do in your free time? Yeah, thanks for the question, John. I like how John's trying to keep it light, right? We don't always have to talk about data science. You know, John, that's changed a little bit recently because this content creation does take a lot of work. I mean, it does take a lot out of me, especially the live streams. You know, guys, for me, like the live streams can be tiring sometimes, you know? But normally, you know, I like playing golf. I also like traveling when I can. I did a lot of travel in 2023 and some of 2024. So I've been to 6 continents. I only have 1 left. I want to go to Antarctica at some point. I think I want to go to Antarctica sometime in the next 2 years. But that's a much bigger trip to plan, right? There's a lot more that goes into that trip. I like trying new restaurants, you know, especially like steakhouses because I like, I keep a keto diet. So I try to take very little carbs. I also walk a lot, you know, I try to do my morning walks and everything. I'm on a little bit of a different plan right now, but I've got some very interesting health goals coming up in 2025. I work with a coach. I have a coach who's also a professional athlete, and he helps me with my weight loss and some other goals that I have in life. What else do I do? Yeah, I like going for drives. I like having a fast car, you know. I like having a sports car. Right now, I just have my Audi SUV, but, you know, I try to always have a sports car that I can, you know, drive a little fast in. But yeah, that's about it. You know, and data science, you know, data science takes up like the rest of my life, right? But I appreciate you asking that, Johnny. If you guys want, share some of your hobbies in the chat. Let me know what you guys do when you're away from data science. It's healthy to, you know, let your mind think about other things and then come back to data science, right? That's a healthy process. So our new friend Pavlo says, I want to be a professional in data science and machine learning one day and love the profession like you. Nice. The college need people like you giving classes. I appreciate that, yeah. But you know what? Colleges, you know, they're so stuck on wanting, you have to have a master's, you have to have a PhD to teach. And I know that some of them are very strict about, well, I think they're strict because the accreditation requirements say that, right? Like if you want to remain an accredited school, you have to only have PhDs or things like that, right? But yeah, I mean, if I could find a university that would take me, that'd be cool. I'd kind of like that. But yeah, you know, most people in those academic programs haven't worked in the real world. They just haven't. I mean, there's really no other way to say that. So yeah. Adam says, hey Dennis, I think the Instagram live stream is broken. We don't see the whole screen and we can't hear you. Well, you can't see the whole screen because I'm in widescreen presentation mode, right? So I'm showing the part that matters, which is the count. But yeah, I mean, there's really no other way to fix it. As far as the sound, If somebody is in the Instagram, let me know if the sound's okay. I've never had complaints about my sound on Instagram. Let me know if there's any problems with the sound on Instagram, okay? Let me know, guys. But I've never heard problems there. Daniel says, I go disc golfing for fun. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, you know, that seems to be a big hobby. I have a couple of courses near me, but I've never gotten into it. Maybe I should. But yeah, I hear that's a fun hobby to do for sure. John says, I enjoy tennis. Oh, duh. I forgot to say that. I also play pickleball. Duh. I used to play tennis when I was in high school, but yeah, I play pickleball. But yeah, John, there's no doubt that you've lost some courts to pickleball courts, right? Because so many tennis courts have been converted to pickleball. Pavlo says, I graduate next year with a degree in systems and programming in October. Congratulations, that's awesome. That's a good background for a lot of things, not just data science. So good for you. Ali says, hello. Hey, Ali, nice to see you. I think, is this your first time joining us? Can't remember. If it is, welcome. Okay, Adam says, I just need to hit the volume button on my mobile. Oh, that's funny. Yassine says, what's your ranking of the best places that you've been to? You know, everybody asks me that, but I think it's impossible. I think it's impossible because every place has its beauty, right? Like it's almost a disservice to say that. Like every place has its beauty, every place has its pluses, every place has its minuses, right? I mean, like there's places you go to that you're happy for the experience, but maybe you don't want to go to again. And there's places that you go to where maybe you want to spend more time in the future, you know? So I don't know. It's a tough thing, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say that, Yassine. Like, you know, like I like London because it's such a cosmopolitan city. I like Colombia because they had good food, you know, and I was there during a beautiful time of year. I like Mexico because, you know, like the food is really good in Mexico, right? The beaches are nice in Mexico, right? I like Morocco because the people are nice. You know, I liked Amsterdam because of all the bridges and the history and the Van Gogh Museum. You know, like there's just like different things, right? So you really can't say like, you know, like, you know, what place is good or bad, you know? Like, you know, there's cities that I've been to that like I'm glad I went, but I'm never going back to. I'm not going to say which ones, right? But like there's also cool airports, right? I usually fly business, so I've been to a lot of like really cool airports. So like the coolest thing I've done in the last 2 years probably is the business class lounge in Dubai, the Emirates lounge. I mean, that was mind blowing. If you've never heard of it, it's a lounge that looks like an airport terminal because you can walk directly from the lounge right onto the plane. I've never seen that before. I've been in business lounges all across the world and I've never seen that. So that was pretty darn cool. You know, so little things like that, you know? I mean, so how can you say that like a business class lounge was better than like London, right? Like you can't say that. Right? So every place has its pluses and minuses, you know? That's the beauty of traveling, right? And sometimes you go and you say, hey, that was an interesting trip, but I'm never going back there again, right? Just the way it is. You know, I've been to some nice places. I almost got stabbed in Mexico once. You know, you just have life experiences. But good question, Yassine. Thanks for that. Ali says, nice meeting you virtually. It's nice meeting you too, Ali. And it's nice that everybody gets to meet as a community, right? It's important to have fellowship in data science, right? Mulenga, I think this is your first time. Nice to see you. Hi, Mulenga from Lusaka, Zambia. Nice, welcome. Zambia. Remind me, I think that's Eastern Africa? Or is that Southern Africa? I can't quite remember. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. John says, 100% lost many courts due to pickleball, but I enjoy both tennis and pickleball. Yeah, but they're different strokes, right? Like if you try to play pickleball with a tennis stroke, you are going to be terrible at it, right? Because I played a lot of tennis when I was in high school. I was my high school team captain in tennis. You know, I don't want to brag, but you know. But if you try to play pickleball with a tennis stroke, you are going to suck. You are going to suck bad at pickleball, right? So that's got to be hard to switch up to strokes, you know, if you're playing both at the same time. But I'm sticking to pickleball because I'm an old man and I like the doubles aspects of it. But you know, just like tennis though, there are some knuckleheads who play pickleball also, right? So I don't necessarily enjoy that part of it. There's some knuckleheads out there that I don't like in pickleball. But yeah, pickleball is definitely fun for sure. Mulenga, let's keep the data science easy talk, right? Today we're just gonna look at the numbers, wait to get to 10,000. But Mulenga asks, is it important to connect and message with hiring managers? Maybe. I think it's more important to have a solid portfolio, right? Because let's say you have a good connection with a hiring manager, they're still gonna want to interview you, right? So I think the more important part is to walk into an interview prepared with your own solid portfolio, right? So I think that's the more important part. Because if you have a solid portfolio, you know, they'll find a way to contact you. They'll find a way to put you on the team, right? So I think that's a little bit more important. Pavlo says, I was here 2 streams ago, but I never send any messages. All right, that's cool. I mean, you know, everybody can participate at their own rate. Usually I ask people to introduce themselves just to at least participate a little bit, you know, keep the chat inclusive, keep people involved, right? But yeah, you know, some people are shy. I get it. So, you know, that's okay, right? But yeah, but Pavlo, now that you have participated, maybe it'll be easier for you to do in the future, right? Adam, I think this is your first time. Welcome. Were there any bad experiences that you want to share while on one of your travels? You know, overall, I gotta say, guys, I've been pretty lucky because obviously there's a lot of horror stories out there, right? But at the same time, I mean, you know, I've been lucky, right? You know, so obviously, you know, thank God for that, right? But at the same time, I am a pretty careful traveler, right? You know, I dress very plainly. I'm always, you know, I have particular pockets where I keep everything. So I know that like my passport pocket, you know, nobody can come near that. You know, I'm very careful about that. I usually, you know, depending on where I am, I usually don't take out my iPhone. I don't wear like a nice watch, even though I have in some countries, but other countries I won't wear it, right? But other countries I have. But yeah, I mean, I almost got stabbed in Mexico. That was that was kind of a crazy story, but that was partly my fault. So I arrived in Mexico. This was in Mexicali, Mexico. I arrived there right around dinner time. So it was like, you know, it was kind of like dusky, you know, like when the sun's going down, right? And I needed to go to this store that was about like a half mile or like a kilometer away from the hotel. And the hotel had security at the front driveway. And I asked the security guy, I said, you know, like, is it okay to walk in this neighborhood at this hour? You know, realizing that it's starting to get dark. And he was like, I don't know, you know, maybe no. You know, and I should have listened. You know, again, this is partly my fault too. But I really needed to go run this errand at this store because I needed some things from the store. It was an OXXO, which is like the 7-Eleven equivalent in Mexico. If you guys have been to Mexico, it's called OXXO. But on the map, it was only like a mile away, a kilometer away, right? Or at least it felt that way. But it actually ended up being a little further than I thought. Maybe the map was wrong. So by the time I start walking back, it's super dark, right? Like it's totally nighttime. But I'm starting to walk back, you know, made it to the store, okay, started walking back. When I was exiting the store, you know, like I said, it's like a 7-Eleven, like a convenience store, right? There were some people outside, like some guys that just standing around, like, most convenience stores. And I start walking back to the hotel, same way I came. So I know the route I gotta go. It's just that it's far and it's dark. So maybe as soon as I leave the store, like less than 50 yards, 50 meters, I feel like somebody's following me. So I turn around and there's somebody following me. This guy's following me. And I notice that he's carrying like this manila envelope, like those brown envelopes. He's carrying a brown envelope and he's holding it in a funny way. He's holding it like this. So I can't see his fingers, and his palms are facing out and the envelope is right here. So he clearly has a knife behind the envelope, right? Because he's kind of holding, has like a knife grip, but he has like the envelope in front, right? And he's kind of like walking like this, kind of like holding it up in his chest. So his hand's funny, his hand position on his body is funny. So like this guy 100% has a knife under there, right? So I start walking back, but I have like a 50 meter lead on this guy, right? So I think, maybe I'm being paranoid, I'm not too far from the hotel. So halfway between the hotel, the only thing that's there is this tiny little pharmacy. So I think, okay, I'm going to figure out what's going on. So I quickly go into the pharmacy. Tiny little place though, like they weren't going to help me or anything, right? So it was like tiny little place. So I quickly go into the pharmacy and I peek out, and he had stopped walking. So he knew that I saw him, he saw that I saw him, and he knows that I saw him, right? So as soon as I go into the pharmacy, he also stops, right? And then as soon as I come out of the pharmacy again, he also starts again, right? So like 100%, I'm being followed at this time. I'm being followed. Pretty sure he has a knife, right? Because again, just the way he's holding his hand and his hands up high, super, super suspicious, right? So I keep walking. And in my mind, I'm doing these calculations of, okay, well, I think I'm going at a fast enough pace where I'm going to outpace him back to the hotel. Because I'm halfway through here. So I still got like a half kilometer to go here, right? But it's like, I got a half kilometer, but he's this far behind, so maybe I can get there, maybe not. All right. So, fortunately, this is one of those things where God intervenes in your life, right? The street I was walking on was not a lot of traffic, like mild traffic, but Mexicali in Mexico is a border town. So it gets a lot of people from the US, right? And cops in Mexico are notorious for ripping off tourists, right? They'll pull you over, they'll give you some fake charge, and then, they want some money from you, right? Right? So I'm walking, and again, I'm making these calculations like, oh my God, I think I can make it, but I'm not a very fast walker. So it's like, he's not too far behind, right? Out of the blue, I see this beautiful Cadillac Escalade. Like a Cadillac Escalade, like the big Cadillacs, the SUVs, the beautiful ones. I've always wanted one, right? Out of the blue, this big old Cadillac Escalade pulls up over about 20 meters ahead of me, maybe less, like 10 meters ahead of me. And I thought, that's weird. Why is that car pulling over? And he was pulling over because a police officer had stopped them and had turned their lights on and was flashing their lights for them to pull over, right? Because you don't want to be in a Cadillac Escalade in Mexico. The cops are going to stop you and they're going to ask you for a $200 bribe, right? I mean, that's like standard in Mexico. So fortunately, that was my lucky break, because this Cadillac out of nowhere stops in front of me, and the cop stops behind him. So now I'm just like 5 meters away from the cop. So this guy's like my saving grace, right? So I kind of start walking towards the cop, and then when I turn around, the guy saw it, and then he turned around. Because the guy knew that I knew that he was following me, right? So it was one of those totally lucky things where I bluffed the guy and I went to talk like I was gonna go talk to the cop and report him. Um, but yeah, I mean, as soon as I did that, right, I kind of turned to go walk and talk to the cop. Out of the corner of my eye back here, I see that the guy saw that and he starts walking fast back to the convenience store because he knew that, you know, it was up. Like he couldn't assault me anymore because the cop was right there. But yeah, when I saw him turn around, I didn't end up talking to the cop. I just, you know, quickly went back to the hotel. But because this cop pulled over this beautiful Cadillac Escalade, that saved me because it made the guy turn around. Otherwise, he would have just kept following me. There would have been no reason for him to stop, right? But yeah, I mean, he came. The guy was like, you know, maybe like 20, 30 meters behind me, and I know he had a knife. So yeah, it was one of those crazy things where, again, I totally acknowledge it was partly my fault. I shouldn't have been walking in that neighborhood, but I just got lucky. You know, I just got lucky that this cop wanted a bribe from some other person who I don't know. And they just, you know, it was just right time. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think that's been probably my most negative experience, you know? I mean, the other stuff, you know, like getting ripped off by taxi drivers, that's standard, right? I mean, that happens in every country. I personally think it's silly, right? Because that's all short money, right? Like, you're gonna rip me off for $5? That's like short money. So you know, that I wouldn't even mention that to you guys, right? But you know, like I've had pretty cool stuff, you know, like one of the cool things I think I did this past year was I went to Australia. And on my way to Australia, I stopped in Japan. I had 2 nights in Japan and, you know, in Tokyo, and Tokyo is beautiful. I arrived to Tokyo like at dinner time. I had a dinner reservation at this Kobe beef place. I've always wanted, you know, genuine from Japan Kobe beef. I went to a good restaurant, had a great dinner. Came back to the hotel room, slept for an hour, and then I couldn't sleep. And at this time, it was like 3 a.m. So I thought, okay, well, Tokyo is one of the safest cities in the world. I'm going to go out. So I called a taxi at 3 a.m. and I went out and I started walking in Shinjuku. And I had ramen at 4 a.m. in some random restaurant in the middle of Tokyo. So, you know, things like that are pretty cool, you know? So that's kind of worth almost being stabbed in Mexico, right? You take the good with the bad. You take the good with the bad. All right, let me keep going here. So Poplo says, my grandfather used to say that it matters how we sell ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. It matters how you sell yourself. And in data science, it matters how you sell your idea, right? Data science isn't always about the result. It's about the rationale. So, you know, like I can disagree with your result, but if you sell me on your rationale, you know, I'm cool with it, right? So Adam says, I'm actually the same person as Gamudis on Instagram. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Pablo says, damn, that was very close. Yeah, that was close. Yeah, I think that's the closest I've ever been to like being assaulted in that way. But yeah, I mean, that guy 100% had a knife and he was 100% following me. So yeah. But again, partly my fault. It's one of the few times when I've gone against my instinct. So, you know, lesson learned from that. Mac, how are you, Mac? Hello, Dennis. I feel it's truly hard to start learning and retaining and applying data science. It can be, sure. Especially in bioinformatics research. Yeah, but don't learn it for bioinformatics. Just learn the basics of data science, right? And then go and learn your specialty, right? Because remember, data science doesn't care, right? Data science is just numbers. So learn those basics and those mechanics first, right? Casual Economist, my good friend and our newest moderator says, wow, I didn't get a notification. Oh, really? Maybe just because I'm doing this spontaneously, you know, maybe it handles the notifications differently. I don't know. But yeah, you know, thanks for being here. I'm just, you know, just doing this spontaneously. See, for somebody like you, it's still a reasonable hour. So I think I'm still going to get a few US people along with some Asia people. Adam says, wow, that's a scary story for sure. Glad you're okay. That was lucky. Yeah, it was totally lucky. It was totally lucky. It was lucky that that cop just so happened to pull over somebody else, right? Because they were looking for a bribe, right? I mean, a beautiful Cadillac Escalade like that, you're just asking to be pulled over in Mexico. So yeah, it just kind of worked out well. And Casual Economist, I see you. I'm gonna try to set you up. See, Casual Economist, I'm not gonna be able to have you as my moderator tonight because I'm not 100% sure how to do it via the web. We'll talk, okay? But right now, I'm gonna keep you off the chat there, okay? Or off the mod, I should say. Yeah, it was definitely a scary experience, but like I said, you take the good with the bad. You know, I've also had good experiences, you know? Yeah, you know, just trying to enjoy the world, just trying to understand that there's more people out there than me. There's more people out there than you know, than a America-centric view of the world, right? I think it's healthy to have that, or, you know, whatever country you're based in, right? I'll tell you guys another weird experience. This one was interesting. And I don't know if I'm going to get to the reasoning behind it, but this one was interesting. So like I said, when I went to Australia, I went to Tokyo. And I actually went to Tokyo again on my way back from Australia because I did New York to LA to Tokyo to Australia. I took like this three week long trip. It was fantastic. On the way back, I wanted to do some shopping, but I still had my luggage with me from Australia. But that's okay because in Japan, they have, you know, they have like a coat check where you can leave your bags, right? And there was this really nice guy, you know, kind of like a middle-aged older guy, and he was there in charge of the bags. And I'm a good tipper. I'm a natural tipper. I like tipping people 'cause I want people to look out for me. And so you know, but in Japan, you know, Japan's not a tipping culture, by the way, and I understand, and I know that other countries really aren't a tipping culture. So I give him my bags, and I also tipped him. And, you know, by the way, the US dollar is really strong now, so I gave him what I thought was a cheap tip, but in Japan, apparently it was like a huge tip. So I gave him a tip, and he was like, no, not necessary. And he tried to keep on pushing it back, and I was like, no, take it. You know, you're working hard. These are heavy bags. So, you know, he was kind of shy about it, but he did take the tip, and he was a really nice guy. So I do my shopping, come back, get my bags, and I really like steakhouses. So I had set up myself to go back to the same steakhouse that I had eaten on my previous trip because it was so good and it was like genuine like Kobe beef, like the A5 Wagyu and all that stuff, right? So I get my bags and I call an Uber to take me to the restaurant from the department store. I don't know if it was like Tokyo traffic or whatever, but the Uber was super late. I literally waited like 90 minutes for this Uber. I've never had to do that. But you know, like it was crazy. Like I could have walked to the steakhouse. This Uber took so long. And it just so happened that the Uber pickup was like across the street from the department store, right? But you know, I got my bags, and the guy was really nice about it. Oh, you know, thank you for the tip, and he helped me with my bags, and he was like, "Do you need directions?" I was like, "No, I'm just gonna, you know, I got my Uber coming." So I will admit that I was out there in front, like on this street corner in Japan for a long time because again, like the Uber literally took 90 minutes. Like I'm not exaggerating. I was out there for a while. I still don't know what happened. Like I'm thinking it was traffic. But I'm sitting there waiting for the Uber, you know, and I'm checking stuff on my phone, or you know, I had a flight later from Tokyo to LA, you know, so I was picking like my business class seat and stuff like that. And I look up, and out of nowhere, I'm talking like ninja style, the same guy from the department store, from the bag check, is standing right in front of me. Like this guy literally appeared out of nowhere. Like I still don't know where he came from. Like I'm talking like ninja style, like all of a sudden I look up from my phone and this guy's in front of me. And he was like, do you need help? Like, can I get you a ride or something? And then like I was freaked out, but I was like, no, it's okay. Look, my Uber's, this is my Uber app. Apparently the guy is just delayed, but here he is, he's on his way. But the reason that really kind of freaked me out is because he was basically watching me the whole time and I didn't even know it, right? Like, you hear about some places in the world where it's like a surveillance state, right? And, different cultures, different views on foreigners and things like that, right? So that kind of freaked me out because like the guy was watching me the whole time. Like, and I was across the street from the department store, but nowhere near like his station or anything, right? So, the other reason why that freaked me out, I should have said this before, but the other reason it freaked me out too was because when you go to Japan, like this was right when they opened after COVID, right? If you guys remember, Japan was one of the last countries to open, right? They even delayed the Olympics because of this, right? So I went right after they opened. So they had all these requirements, all these forms. You had to have like something online previously. And so when I first got there, when I got to the hotel, I could tell I was passing cameras, right? Because that's just my observational skills. I could tell I was passing cameras because the hotel, the reception wasn't on the floor level. You had to enter on the floor level, the porte cochere, and then you had to go upstairs to the reception and all that. And they're using some heavy facial recognition, right? Because when I got to the front desk of the hotel, it was busy because it was like dinner time, right? I checked in like at 6 p.m., let's say. And they didn't need anything from me. Like they immediately knew my name. Oh, yes, how are you? Yes, we know you came in on flight, 758 on ANA. Yes, we know you have 3 bags. We have people ready to take you straight to the hotel, like I literally like just kept on walking. Like they were just like, yeah, just come here. We got a nice room for you. Like I didn't have to show my credit card, didn't have to fill out any forms. Like they knew everything. They knew how many bags I had. They knew when my next flight out. Like they knew everything. So anyways, coming back to this guy, obviously they must be using cameras on the street also, right? To recognize you and pick up on you. Right? Like, why is this individual person waiting for over an hour on a random street corner in Tokyo? Right? But it was crazy. Like, this guy appeared out of nowhere and he was obviously watching me the whole time because he knew that I was there. Right? He wasn't just like randomly looking outside and saying, oh, there's that guy. Right? But I got to experience a little bit of that, that surveillance state, I guess you call it, or however you want to look at that. Right? But that was kind of crazy. Like harmless, right? Because the guy was ultimately just trying to be helpful. He could have just been a cool guy for all I know. But he was basically watching me the whole time. Like, how else would he have known that I was there? Like, it was wild. It was pretty wild. But anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I keep on diverging here because, I've had a lot of travels. But anyways, sorry about that. John Murphy asks, what's your golf handicap? My 6-iron. Rahul says, in which continents did you visit the most countries? That's a good question. I guess Europe, just by the nature of, the countries being so close, right? I mean, I've been to the Netherlands, to France, to the UK, right? In South America, I've been to Mexico, El Salvador, Colombia. In Asia, I've been to Bali. I've been to Japan. What about Dubai? Dubai is the Middle East, but what continent is that? That's still Europe, I think, right? Or is that Asia? I went to Dubai. I don't know what continent that falls under. Let me know in the chat. What continent is Dubai? I think that's Asia, right? Like East Asia? I mean, generally I know it's the Middle East, but the Middle East is not a continent, right? What's Dubai? I don't know. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. Adam says, came here for the data science, stayed for the interesting stories. I don't know. Are these interesting stories? I don't know. I mean, I'm just an old guy who's had a lot of life experience, you know? I don't know. Are they interesting? You guys tell me. Am I just rambling here? Or are they interesting? I don't know. Adem says it's Asia and Dubai is a city in the UAE. Okay, you're right about that. I do talk about Dubai like it's a country and it's not. You're right. But yeah, I think the UAE is technically Asia, right? So I agree with you on that. So Asia, I've been to 3 countries. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, so Asia, 3 countries. Pavlo says Asia. Oh, wait, yes. Yeah, you know, Pavlo, it's kind of in a weird part, right? Because you know, it's the Middle East. And you could say that it's like, what is that? Eastern Europe, right? You could make that argument, I suppose, right? Like Eastern Europe, maybe. But I think it is more Asia. I think it's more Asia. Let me know in the chat if you guys want to, you know, if you guys want to debate that. But I think Asia is a good one because you say because India is Asia technically, right? And Dubai and India are not that far apart, right? So yeah. John says, "Lol, that made me laugh." Hey, I'm just being honest, John. Hello, Dennis and all. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you in the morning from Bengal. That's right, Manoj, our good friend. Manoj, so you saw me as you were going to sleep. And now you probably get to see me on your morning. So yeah, welcome back, Manoj. Good to see you. Hey guys, we're at 99.80. Holy crap. We are 20 away from 10,000, guys. That is crazy. I cannot believe that, guys. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Yeah, 20. Yeah, Casual Economist says 20 more. Adam says, yes, the whole Middle East is in Asia. The cutoff point is Egypt, which is part of Africa. Is that true? The cutoff point is Egypt. Let me think about that. Here's what I'm thinking. What about Israel? Would you say that Israel is in Asia? That's what's throwing me off because I'm pretty sure Israel is east of Egypt, right? So you'd be saying that Israel is in Asia? Is that true? Pavlo says, internet says yes is in Asia and Africa at the same time. What is? Are you talking about Israel or give me some more clue there, Pavlo? Are you talking Israel or what are you talking there? But yeah, but guys, what about Israel? I don't think people think of Israel as being in Asia. And I'm pretty sure it's east of Egypt. Okay, so Adem says, yes, Israel is in Asia officially. Really? Yes, Israel is in Asia, but Turkey is in both continents. Okay, I have heard that, Rahul. I have heard that, yeah. So I agree with Turkey. Egypt seems too close, right? Because Egypt's really, you know, there's a lot to Africa and a lot to the world after Egypt. Right? Okay, so Pavlo was talking about Dubai being in Asia and Africa at the same time. I don't know if I'm on board with that, Pavlo. I don't know if I'm on board with that part. If it says that it's part of Asia and maybe like... Well, I mean, I was going to say Europe, but that doesn't feel right either, does it? I don't know. Geography's hard, guys. Okay, forget it. Let's go back to data science. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say Dubai is part of Africa. Well, maybe. It's really not that far from Eastern Africa, right? Maybe. Maybe, Pavlo. Appreciate the discussion, though. But yeah, Dubai was hot. Oh my God, was it hot in Dubai? I spent most of the time indoors at the what is it? What's the big building there? I forgot what the big building there is called. But yeah, spent a lot of time there because of the nice air conditioning, just like Mother Nature intended. But yeah, I guess I've been lucky to have some cool experiences around the world. You know, I'm fortunate for that because I know not everybody gets to travel. I know that there's a lot of visa restrictions around the world and all that. But yeah, that's it. The Burj Khalifa. Thank you so much. Wait, no, the Burj Khalifa is the hotel, isn't it? No, I'm talking about the big building. Paflo says, I don't know, I just enjoy, stay here and listen. No, but hey, you know what? It's good you're participating, my friend. Maybe you'll feel more comfortable participating again in the future, right? Okay, so Rahul says, Israel is the westernmost country in Asia and it borders Egypt on the west. Okay, cool. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, but it's not the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa is the hotel. I didn't stay there. I stayed out at the St. Regis on the Palm. Yeah, on the Palm. What is it? The Palm Jumeirah or whatever it's called. That was pretty cool. Burj Khalifa is the skyscraper? Is that what it's called? I thought that was the hotel. But yeah, whatever the skyscraper is, that's where I went. I had a pretty good time there. I like, going to places where you can see a lot of the views and stuff, That's something I find that to be a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, we're coming up here. Only 17 away. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. All right, so what's next? What else do you guys want to talk about? Maybe you guys should tell me some travel stories. Where have you guys been? Let me know. Where do you want to go? Maybe I'll give you some advice on where you've been or where you want to go or different things like that, in traveling, you pick up some good things and, maybe you pick up some not good things, right? So let me know, guys. Wow, that's weird. For some reason, my followers on Twitter jumped instantly in the last half hour. I guess people are liking the celebration stream, which is kind of weird, but okay. If you're joining us on Twitter, happy to have you here. I think I just realized that I might not have enabled the chat on Twitter. Oh my gosh, I never forget to do that, but for some reason I did. Oh well. Well, the people on Twitter, if you can hear me, feel free to switch over to YouTube. But now we're 15 people away, guys. That is crazy. That is crazy. Guys, I'm just sitting at home talking into an iPhone. And somehow you guys keep on showing up. No idea. It's okay. Casual Economist says it's okay. Twitter chat is mostly toxic. It's funny you should mention that because I'm really thinking about giving up on Twitter. I'm not really liking the direction where everything is going there, and not just the chats, but even just regular stuff. There's so much, of the shit posting on Twitter, right? Because everybody's trying to get that cheap engagement, right? So don't you hate being on Twitter and somebody will post a dumb question like, so when you're programming, do you use light mode or dark mode? Right? And that's cheap engagement, right? What's the best programming language to use? And they're doing that to get their numbers up, to get their, the reach numbers that you need for the paychecks or, whatever the case is, right? Just hate that stuff. And to me, that's just, it's not good, right? It's not quality, right? So I'm actually thinking of leaving Twitter. So I'm with you, Casual Economist. I think a lot of the stuff going on Twitter right now isn't positive. Isn't positive. So if anything, I'll just post my shorts up there at like, you know, kind of like in a passive way. But yeah, you know, not a lot of good stuff happening on Twitter for sure. For sure. But yeah. But guys, if you want to tell me about your travels or your hobbies or whatever, you know, feel free to contribute to the chat. I don't know how much longer this is going to be. I have a feeling it's not going to be very long. We're at 99.88, guys. This is crazy, guys. I mean, you guys realize that I've never really done like a significant social media effort. I'm really just driven by sharing my passion for data science and realizing that there's a lot of terrible, terrible information out there, right? I hate the information that's out there. And quite frankly, it's ripping off a lot of you guys, right? So that's it. That's all I'm doing, guys. And you guys know that I recommend the book Mastery by Robert Greene because that book really did have an impact on my life. I've been following my passion ever since. So just, you know, if you guys doubt that, if you guys doubt, oh, I don't want to follow passion, I want to make money, I want to do, you're watching somebody who's doing who followed their passion, right? So maybe something to think about. Ilya says, hi, Dennis. Hey, Ilya, nice to see you again. Welcome. Casual Economist says, do you have champagne for 10K? I know we were saving the expensive stuff for 100K. You know, I do have good champagne. I love good champagne, guys. I have some bottles of Veuve Clicquot. But you know what? Somebody advised me that maybe drinking on the stream could cause a violation for YouTube. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what? I think they're right. I think it could be a violation of that, you know? So yeah, so I'm probably not going to do that. I mean, I have some other whiskey. I have a Macallan 12. That is kind of like my go-to whiskey for like special stuff. But then I have my 20. So if you guys don't know, on my Discord, I posted about how I have this bottle of Glenfiddich that is 20 years old or aged for 20 years. It was a special collaboration with Mr. Porter. It was a limited run of 1,500 bottles worldwide. Like it was one of those where you have to enter a lottery and then, you know, and if you win, I think the bottle was like $500 or something ridiculous. But that's something that I've been saving for a special occasion. So I thought, oh, maybe 10K is it. And the feedback was, no, it's got to be 100K. So I'm saving that for the 100K. But yeah. So no, Casual Economist, I don't think there's going to be any drinking just because I don't want to risk any YouTube violations or anything, right? So Adem says, yes, that's what brought me to your channel, to your content, just straight to the point and truthful. Yeah, you know, I haven't shared this story with a lot of people. I shared it with somebody on Discord in the private chat, but you know, just if you guys want to, you know, kind of take something forward too. A long time ago, very long time ago, I read this book on being a stand-up comedian because I find that world fascinating. It's a book by a lady named Judy Carter, if you want to look her up. A famous book, you could probably still find it on Amazon. And she talks about how the world's best comedians and even the world's best entertainers, they're sharing their life with you. They're being honest, right? You can't be a comedian and just get on stage and tell stories because that's fake, right? It's not your story. You can't just tell jokes. It's not your story, right? If you think about all the good comedians you like, they talk about themselves, their families, their kids, you know, why their boss sucks or whatever, right? People respond to that, right? The audience knows when you're being fake, right? So I've always carried that in my mind where if I was going to do something, it had to be something genuine. So yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? I'm just trying to do genuine stuff. Is it Neiman? Neiman Jane? Hey Neiman, welcome. Congratulations, only advanced 9. Yeah, only 6 to go. Jeez. That is insanity, guys. That is insanity. Who's going to be the lucky 10K? You know, I don't know if I can track that on YouTube. I know I can track it like on Instagram because it shows you a list. I can track it on Discord, but I haven't found a way to track it on YouTube. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to tell. It'd be nice to do something, but I don't know if that'll be possible to actually know. We'll see. I guess somebody must have retweeted me on Twitter because I've received like 36 new followers on Twitter in the last 20 minutes. How weird is that? That seemed to have triggered a nerve for you, Dennis, following. Yeah, it is personal. It is personal, you know, because this is what I've dedicated my adult life to, guys, you know? Like, I've been doing data science for a while now. So yeah, it is. Whoa, Jeremiah, good to see you again. Our friend in Singapore. Where you been, man? Where you been? I guess the morning streams are too late for you, right? 5 more. Thanks again for providing amazing, helpful content about data science. Yeah, thanks, Jeremiah. I know you're one of my earlier supporters, which is crazy to say because you were probably around when I had 1,000 followers, but that's still early now. It's crazy. Adem said, hey, I think the Discord invite is expired when I try to join. That's what it said. I'll have to double check that. I thought I had a non-expiring invite, but every once in a while somebody tells me that it's expired. So I don't know. I'm going to have to check that. Yes, it's too early and I was on holiday somewhere else these few weeks. Okay, cool. Where'd you go? I hope you had a good time. I remember you were from Singapore, so I don't know if you left Asia or whatnot. But yeah, good to see you again. I'm gonna try to do more Asia streams, guys. I mean, this is a fun time, and I know that there's a demand for it because I've done it 2 or 3 times, and people show up, but it's kind of late in the day for me, and I'm a morning person is the challenge, right? I'm a morning person. I just like getting up early and getting my work done, you know? This is hard for me to be streaming at this hour, even though it's really not that late for me. And also remember, guys, I get up early. I get up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. So by this time, I've been up a long time. I've been up now for what? 17 hours? Something like that. So yeah. But thanks again, everybody, for showing up. You know, I just thought I'd do this spontaneously. You know, it's kind of fun to see the numbers flip. It's kind of crazy that we started this stream with 9,900. So there's been 100 followers just in the time that we've been talking. That's crazy, right? I mean, let me check my YouTube. My YouTube says that I've been streaming for an hour, 10 minutes. So I've gotten 100 followers in an hour, 10 minutes. Crazy. I thought I would get 100 followers in a year. Where did all of you come from? I have no idea. Yes, I was in Australia for a few weeks, so your morning streams are even later there. Yeah, but you know what? I get followers from Australia. I get people who join from Australia, believe it or not. Australia had good Chinese food. Australia has a lot of people from Singapore there, right? I think they have a pretty high population across most of Australia. High Asian population. In fact, I remember that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna blank out on the name. But there's a hot pot restaurant. Oh, the Dollar Shop. The Dollar Shop. There's a hot pot restaurant in New York City that also where I was living, and I had gone because one of my employees took me there. And when I went to Sydney, there just so happens to be that the family lives both in New York and in Sydney, and there was a dollar shop there, and I went there to the Chinatown area of Sydney. Really good time there. I really like that area. Oh, okay, Pablo, you're from Panama. Cool. I live in Panama and I'm here. Cool. Thanks for joining us. Well, Panama is a decent hour right now, right? It's not late. There it is, guys. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, that's crazy, guys. 10,000. That's a lot of people. I can't believe it. Hey, Dumbler, good to see you. Dumbler, it's gotta be late for you, man. You're in Wales, right? Man, isn't it like the middle of the night in Wales right now? Really, guys, thanks a lot. That's crazy. You know, I know I sound like I'm joking when I say that, but I mean, I really thought like 500 people would join like in a year. Like I thought that would be like a success, right? So like this is crazy. Jeremiah says, "Keep doing amazing content, and you will hit 100K in no time." I hope so. I hope that's the plan. I mean, I'm growing at like 1,000 followers a day right now, which is just like mind-boggling. But yeah, I mean, the next goal is to get that silver play button. Yeah, so the next time we do this type of stream, it's gonna be with the silver play button, right? So, but you know, I looked it up. Silver play button puts you in the top 0.5%. Just, and you know, coming back to data a little bit, right? Just so you guys understand how skewed the data is. 100,000 puts you at 0.5% of all channels. But even 10,000 puts you at the top 1.5% of all channels. Right? So you guys are data folks, right? So you can understand the skewness of that. So it's a long way between here and 100,000. But you're basically still at that long tail, right? Because even at 10,000, like it's like top 2%, like better than the top 2%. Joseph says 10K is only the beginning. Congrats, Dennis. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you guys. You know, it's really it's all you know. It's all thanks to you guys. So thanks a lot for being here. You know, I mean, you guys drive me to come up with content and share different things with you guys. And like I said, I don't even know like why you guys show up, you know, but it motivates me when I see people coming back, right? Especially people like who just, you know, watch me for a day and then, you know, you come back. Like I really appreciate that, you know, and I appreciate that all of you who have been with me for a while, you know, I know a couple of you in the chat have been following me for a long time. So I sincerely appreciate that, guys. You know, it's all because of you guys. Congrats, Dennis. You deserve it and more. Thank you, Gamanisa. Really appreciate that. Casual Economist says, well deserved. Thank you. Really appreciate that, guys. Rahul says, congratulations. Thanks, Rahul. I really appreciate the early subscribers like you guys. Gamadisa says, it's 3 a.m. here in Tunisia. Oh my God. I'm honored that you would stay up. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Jeremiah says, yes, I do watch your live streams the next day, so it's good. Okay, good. Thanks for that feedback, Jeremiah. You know, a lot of people watch the replays of live streams. Shocking to me how much that happens. Lots of people watch. It's crazy. Damulaire says, it's also 3:37 a.m. in Wales. Oh my God, go to sleep, guys. I might go to sleep, and it's nowhere near 3:30 for me. Casual Economist says, your content is great and you stream regularly. Getting to 20K will be even faster. That's the plan. You know, in theory, I should get there in another 10 days for 20K because I've been growing super fast. So yeah. Abhinav says, hello, Dennis. Hey, Abhinav. Nice to see you. But like you said, you can get up at 4 a.m. I do get up super early. I do get up really early. But I've always been that way, even when I was a kid. Joseph says, data scientists sleep. Well, you should be able to sleep because you followed a good methodology and you know that your algorithms are running well. If you don't have a good methodology, that will cause you a lot of sleepless nights, right? So we try to prevent that. So yes, data scientists sleep because they followed a good methodology that's not going to blow up on them one day, right? I mean, can you imagine being one of the ones who's working on the self-driving cars, knowing that an algorithm can cause like a fatal accident at any given time? I'm not sure if I want to be that data scientist, right? Siddharth says, you're awesome, 100. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You know, obviously a big milestone to pass 10,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. I really thought like I'd be measuring followers in the hundreds and not the thousands. But yeah, but I think it's important to lay out goals, you know, in public, right? So I think I can get pretty close, if not reach 100,000 followers by the end of the year. You know, there's still a lot of time left in 2024, right? We think of 2024 as kind of being over, right? But there's still a lot of time in 2024. So I'm just gonna keep on coming back, and keep on showing up, keep on producing the best content I can, and I think I can get to 100,000 followers by the end of the year. And you know what's funny about that is that I've told you guys that I have this goal group. I have some colleagues who we've been doing a goal group together for the last 7 years now. And that was one of the goals I had told them when I first got 1,000 followers. I told them one of my goals was 5,000 by the end of the year, and I blew by that. So I recently updated my goals with them to stay accountable to them for 100,000 by the end of the year. So now I'd like to stay accountable to all of you because, you know, that's going to keep me going. But I think that I can reach 100,000 followers by the end of the year. So we'll see. We'll see. That's one of my goals. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, but if you're, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter. So if you are following me on Twitter, please also follow me on YouTube. You know, you're welcome to follow my channel on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I'm super grateful for all of you, for the feedback you give me, for the questions you give me. You guys come up with great questions, for the growth of the community. I'm also appreciative of how you guys treat each other. You know, I'd like to think that we're keeping a professional community, because I think that's important as far as being a data scientist. But yeah, you know, and I'm just I'm just sharing my passion with you guys, right? I mean, I just love this stuff. You know, I love data science. And I'm just giving you guys my perspective from actually being in the trenches, right? So the fact that you guys respond to that and you give me all this great feedback, I'm really grateful for that. So thank you so much for that. You know, really sincerely, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, YouTube says I've been streaming for only an hour, 20 minutes. I can't believe that only took an hour, 20 minutes, guys. I was prepared to be here for a while, right? But yeah, that's crazy. In just an hour, we reached that. An hour, that's crazy. Casual Economist says, with all the fake influencers, I envision the channel being the go-to #1 channel for data science. That's the goal, Casual Economist. That's definitely part of the goal, you know, and that drives me a lot. I hate seeing all that fake stuff out there. You know, like I hate that, you know, those people are preying on good people like all of you here in the chat, right? And it cheapens my profession. Like, you're cheapening my profession when you sell those dumb courses and all that stuff, right? So I take it personally. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe that's a fault. You guys tell me. But I take it personally that somebody cheapens what I do by saying, "Hey, I can make a data scientist in 3 months. It's super easy. You just got to hack the data scientist interview." That you know, that's offensive, you know. But again, it's offensive because I'm passionate about it, right? If I didn't care about data science, then I wouldn't care about the fake influencers. But yeah, thank you for that, Casual Economist. You know, I don't care necessarily about the biggest or #1. I care about putting out good information, right? If I give you guys good information on a consistent basis, then everything else will take care of itself, right? So that's really what I'm after. I want to give you guys genuine information. And when I can help you, I will. And if I can't help you, I tell you that. You know, and you guys have seen me do that. I'll tell you when, hey, I'm not comfortable speaking on this. Because that wouldn't be me giving you genuine information. So yeah, thank you for the vote of confidence there. You know, that's certainly part of the goal. But again, I'm just going to give you guys good information and everything else will take care of itself. Sarbesh, our good friend Sarbesh. Hi, Dennis. Congrats for reaching 10K YouTube. Yeah, thank you so much, Sarbesh. I can't believe it, man. Can't believe it. I can't believe it. 10,000. I mean, pretty soon it'll be like, you know, it'll be like a stadium full of people. I mean, it's craziness. On Instagram, I have a stadium full of people. Like, that's... You know, and just for fun, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again, you know, because that's really when I thought that I felt like I was doing something different, something special. My niece is a ballerina. She's very, very big into ballet. And like, I don't mean like she just took some classes. I mean like she goes to a school for it. Like she's been going since she was like a little girl. Like she's a serious ballerina. She's competed in the world championships of ballet and all this other stuff. So I went to one of her performances in Phoenix, you know, because my sister lives there. Like I've talked about my sister who lives in Phoenix, but she doesn't actually live there. They literally moved there so that they could support her because my niece goes to a ballet school there. Like, she's very serious about ballet. And she had a performance on Friday night. I had been doing content creation for about a month. You know, doing different things, putting out different things that I thought was good content. I was doing live streams that nobody was showing up to. You guys can find it on YouTube, by the way. I did plenty of live streams where there were 0 people in attendance. And I'm sitting there in this dark theater. I had like 12 followers on Instagram at the beginning of that weekend. And all of a sudden, in my pocket, my phone starts going off. And it starts going crazy, but I can't check it because I'm in this dark theater and they're very serious about not using your phone, you know, because the light makes it obvious you're using phone. So I have to wait until the whole thing is over, and I go outside, and I had like 700 followers on Instagram, in an hour, because one of the posts I had done, people started liking it. And I just remember, like, on the way back to the hotel, at the hotel, when I'm trying to go to sleep, my phone just kept on going off. And that was the first time I had to learn how to do the night mode, the do not disturb, because my phone was constantly going off. I couldn't sleep. But I've never had to use night mode before, right? But that was like a turning point where I thought, okay, maybe I should just continue with this, right? Maybe I should stop looking for jobs and actually continue. So yeah, that was the start of it, and here I am with you guys, with great people like you. So thank you so much for everything. Yeah, I'm seeing some people sign off, and I want to sign off too, because it's getting late for me. It's getting late for you guys. But so again, thank you so much. Really grateful for all your support, and I'm just gonna keep going, right? And if you guys want to give me some feedback, some other stuff you want to hear about, other questions you have, I'm ultimately here to serve you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late for me, for this. It was fun to see the numbers flip over, right? So I'm glad we did this spontaneously. So take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, guys.